Today we're going to talk about recycling materials. This is section 2.2.3. All right, so here are some recycling symbols that you may see on products that you purchase. So they're usually somewhere on the product, like on the label, or like water bottles, they're on like stamped into the plastic. I did not know that these arrows actually represented something, but each arrow represents some part of the recycling process. So the first arrow represents the consumer gathering the recyclable materials to be recycled. The second arrow represents the manufacturer recycling the materials to create something new. And then the third arrow represents the consumer buying products that are made from recycled materials. And then the second picture down here that's not green identifies the resin content. And so there'll be something in the middle of those arrows that will tell you what kind of material it's made out of. And we'll look at those in a bit. All right, so this first recycling symbol is just telling me that if you see this on a product, it's just telling me that the product has been made from recycled material. And then the second one will tell you what percentage of it is made from recycled material. I have not really seen too many of the percentage ones. I don't know that I've seen any, actually. Maybe it's just because I haven't looked for it. All right, so these are some categories that we talk about when we're talking about recycling, and we're going to go into each one of these in depth following this slide. So the first one is organics, then metals, polymers, ceramics, and composites. The recycling organics, that would be grass clippings, bush and tree trimmings, yard vegetation, food scraps, wood, and paper. And so, like, grass clippings can be, put into a mulch pile to break down and be used as soil. We just mulch our grass clippings right up into the grass itself. Bush and tree trimmings, some places have curbside where you can put those out and they'll bring along a big wood chipper and they'll chip those all up. Yard vegetation, same with the grass clippings. Food scraps, again, you can compost those, as long as I think you can't put meat products into compost, but I'm not positive about that. Wood, again, can be chipped up and used, and then paper. So we used to have a recycling project at the school where we collected paper and recycled the paper. And we did that for a number of years. We had these big blue containers that you put the paper in, and then every month or so we would gather all the paper up and somebody would come, a recycling place would come and pick that up. Well, the recycling place closed or changed its focus and decided it wasn't profitable to pick up our paper, and so we haven't been able ever to find another place that will do that, and so that initiative kind of died several years ago when the company stopped picking up the paper. Recycling metals, so some examples would be steel, brass, copper, aluminum, iron. So the tin cans, these cans over here, you can recycle. If you have curbside recycling, you can just put those in your bin. We are lucky enough that we have curbside recycling. These other three, the brass, copper, and aluminum, you can often sell. Not the tin cans, because you get 10 cents back on the aluminum cans. You get 10 cents back on those, and so it's not profitable to try to cash that in for the aluminum in them. But we have aluminum siding on our house, and we've talked about replacing it with vinyl siding, and we're trying to figure out if it's cost effective, if we can sell the aluminum, and if it would be enough to pay for the vinyl siding that needs to go on. So there are places that will buy scrap metal. All right, so these are some of the products that you'll see, these symbols, it'll tell you what the product is made of. So like these number ones are made out of PET or PETE. So you'll look on the bottom on the plastic somewhere. These are all plastic products, polymers, and you'll see that they'll all be numbered, and it just tells you what they're made of. So number ones, it'll be stamped on there. Number twos are high density polyethylene. Number three are PVCs. I guess I could give you some examples of these. So number one, an example of that would be like pop bottles, the plastic ones, the milk jugs, trash cans. They're all made out of this PET. An example of a high density polyethylene would be, again, some milk jugs, household cleaner bottles, trash bags, and the shopping bags. Those are made out of that. Some places will take number twos, but they won't take like the shopping bags. I don't know why that is, but they, like, our recycling won't accept shopping bags. PVC is a number three, and that would be like medical tubing. The vinyl siding is made out of that. Sewage pipes, some playground equipment. Those are all examples of PVC, products made of PVC. And then low density polyethylene, that's a number four. This would be like squeeze bottles, bread bags, maybe some trash cans are made out of that. Number five is polypropylene. This would be ketchup bottles, straws, even signal lights. So if you're looking at the traffic light, it would be like the plastic covering over the light. So like the red, green, and yellow part. And then, whoops, let me go back. The number six is the polystyrene. And a lot of places don't accept number six plastics. They don't accept the polystyrene. That would be like egg cartons, styrofoam cups, anything like that. They don't accept those. All right, recycling ceramics. And so this is some examples of ceramics. So some ceramic bricks. This is actually a jet engine nozzle. That's ceramic. This green picture down here is a picture of a halogen light. I know it's kind of hard to see, but it's the skyline. And then this bottom one is actually crucibles, because we all have crucibles sitting around in our house, but those are made of ceramics, and those are all things that can be recycled. And then composites. So these are things that don't fall into one of those other categories. So tires would be an example. So this is an example of tires being recycled, all of these pictures. So this first picture is the bottom of the ocean, where they put tires down in there to build artificial reefs, to kind of replace some of the reefs that have been damaged due to human impact. Some of the tracks, the newer tracks and newer like football fields, are made out of recycled, crushed up tires, shredded up tires. I know that East China Field and Ford Field, I think, are made of those shredded up tires. Speed bumps, they're used to help create the speed bumps. And then this is the playground. And they've shredded up some tires to put around the playground. So when our kids were growing up in Elginak, the playground at the school was sand. Elginak is really sandy. It's right on the St. Clair River, and the ground is really sandy. And so the playground was all sand, which was really nice, except your kids would bring home like, a pound of sand every day in their shoes. But for falling off of one of these playground structures, the sand was nice to land in. So apparently it didn't meet OSHA or MyOSHA standards, playground standards, and so they told them they couldn't have sand. They had to have some other composite material that surrounded the playground equipment. So they went in and covered all that sand with wood chips. So I'm not sure about you, but I'd rather fall into the sand than into a pile of wood chips. I'm not going to get a splinter from the sand, but I'm going to from the wood chips, or I'm going to, cut myself or something. So I never really understood that, but they were forced to do that, which was kind of crazy. So there are recycling codes that are in place. Some of them are at the national level, some of them are at the state level, and some of them are at the city and township level. So like curbside recycling is kind of up to each city or township, each municipality. But then there are some greater things like the pop cans deposit that's at the state level. All right. So that's the end of our recycling. Oh no, I'm sorry. I have the recycling life cycle. So this you're going to need this for the project that you're going to be working on. So this just shows the life cycle of something that's recycled. So it starts where you have uh, you gather materials, recycled materials. You do whatever you need to do to them, melt them, crush them, whatever it is that you do, and then you manufacture a new product. You ship that out and distribute it to consumers. The consumer uses it for a period of time until it breaks or until it just runs its course, and then it goes to its end of life. Now, at the end of life, it can either be repaired and sent back into the consumer world, or it can be recycled and the whole process started over. And then there's all these little things coming off the middle where it's just waste and pollution. Like maybe you decide to just throw it away rather than repair it or recycle it. So it goes into the waste and pollution. And so at any point in the process, that could happen. It could be put into waste. Okay, so you can use this as a model for your project because you're going to have to design 3 life cycles for 3 different products. So you use this one as your example. And then these are just some resources where this material was drawn from. All right, that ends our talk on recycling. You can use any of this information to help you with your project that you're going to be doing on recycling. So you may want to, come back to this at another time.